Good morning. I'm Megan Gallagher, and I'm president of our Board of Trustees. We welcome you this morning to our congregation. Welcome to those of you on Zoom. And this is our Sunday morning worship, and thank you for being here. Our new tenant, Oakhart Preschool, owned by Fanny Topete, is joining us today with her family for our luau luncheon. She's been busy with painting, repairing, and being inspected. We are all looking forward to having children here during the week in the fall. And so welcome Fanny and her family. Introduce yourself at the luncheon when they come. Our administrative team and volunteers worked hard yesterday to clear behind the classrooms. They cut, raked, hauled to mitigate the weeds. And if you were one of those folks, can you raise your hand? Yeah, thank you. Raise your hand, Brian. If you're a team or a task force leader, please plan to attend our teams and task force coordinating meeting on August 9th from 1:30 to 3:30. We will be focused on how we communicate, coordinate, and cooperate as a community. Community Connections lands in your box every Thursday. Take a minute to read the announcements and reports. Join us today for our luau luncheon on the patio, and our visitors are invited to join us as our guests. So please, if you're a visitor, please join us. We'd love to have you stay. Thank you, and here's our dear Reverend Maggie Yenoki.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Aloha. Ah. Aloha, blessings to all of the Ohana. It is so good to be here. And a great big mahalo to you for getting yourselves here. And look at how you're dressed. We're really into it. It's really great, really great. There's a tradition we have on the first Sunday of each month where we celebrate those who have a birthday in the weeks ahead. So if you have an August birthday, can you give a high five or wave? Oh, Robert, Pat. Today! Wow! Double, you get 2 hands up. Yeah. It's also Sophie's birthday. It's the day we celebrate her. So she's 12. And that's in human years. So we respect our elders, right? So, yeah. So if you will join me, we'll sing happy birthday to the August babies when we get to the name part. Or maybe we should all just say, pat, pat it. But let's sing out. Let's sing happy birthday. And I didn't say hello to those joining us on Zoom, and I want to always be sure to do that. Let me find, I have my little iPad set up to be connected to you. So let me see. We have 6 participants. 3 of them are us. No, I'm kidding. Bruce Mount is here. Corey Potts is here. Hooray! I hope you come over and have some luau, Corey. But yeah, so welcome, warm welcome to all of you as well. We open our services this morning by a ringing of our bell 3 times. I'm going to ring it 3 times at the end of my introduction because we're very fortunate to have George's Japanese bell with us today. So I don't want to keep it up here and risk dropping it on. So we ring it for yesterday, for today, and for tomorrow. We pause to acknowledge and honor the Tongva and other native peoples on whose ancestral homelands we gather today. And we add our inspiration and our aspiration of hope for a mending of the harm that has been caused them by colonization, with our healing energies of our recognition, our reciprocity, and our respect. We call to the ancestors of our faith, to the ancestors of our congregation, and to each of the ancestors of our hearts. We also extend a safe, warm welcome to all that are gathered here on this day, in person, online, and those who will watch via the recording. And for all those who will come in the future, we prepare a place for you here, and we invite you to join us. Thank you, George. It's beautiful. And our welcoming song today is one of our favorites. It's our UU polka. Enter, rejoice, and come in. So if you want to, and if you feel like dancing, go for it. But let's sing out. Enter, rejoice, and come in. As a symbol of our faith, we light a chalice at each of our gatherings. It represents the spirit, the values, and the rich history of Unitarian Universalism. Its flame invites us to center our lives in love and service. It holds us in community, and it offers us belonging. As Kate Perlman comes forward to light our chalice, and Lily, if you could just not play a drum roll, but some kind of heavenly music. This is the first time Kay Perlman has lit a chalice in 37 years of membership. Thank you, Kay. Now you can't say that anymore. But let's hear our chalice lighting words, inspired by Carol Meyer. We light our chalice to symbolize interdependence and unity, and we come together in harmony. We share our growth and our aspirations. We come together in wonder. We share our losses and our disappointments, and we come together in sorrow. We share our concern and our compassion. We come together in love. And we come to this place, our spiritual home, bringing our doubts and our faith. We come together as seekers. We sing, we pray, and we listen. We speak, we read, and dream. We think and ponder and reflect. We cry and laugh and center. We mourn and celebrate and meditate. We strive for justice and for mercy. We come together in worship. Now I invite you to sing our anthem, our Spirit of Life invocation. You forgot the slide. Who knows Spirit of Life? Show of hands. Okay, let's stand and sing it. Let's remain standing as we read the words of our covenant together. We affirm that love is the greatest purpose of this congregation. Search for truth is our constant star, and service is our prayer. We pledge our hearts, minds, and hands to challenge injustice with courage, obtain justice for a healthier planet, and to live out our Unitarian Universalist values every day as beloved community. Thus do we covenant with each other and with all that is sacred in life. Please be seated and enjoy our wisdom tale told to us by Robert Tidwell.
Good morning, everybody. Today's story is called Marmalade. It's by Orlando Brugnola. Whitman Jones had just turned 9. That was good. But he was going to a new school in a new town, and that was very bad. In his old school, he knew everyone. They had been in classes with him for years. In this new school, he didn't know one single person. Not only that, the first day didn't go well at all. "Whitman Jones," the teacher called out. "Whitman, why that's an unusual name." "You can call me Whit," Whitman said, hoping to be helpful. "All right, Whit, I'll do that, thank you," said the teacher. His classmates made funny noises. There didn't seem to be any way to explain that Whitman was named after his grandfather. At recess, a very tall boy in Whitman's class came over to him. His name was Eric Smith. He was really tall and kind of chunky, and he moved slowly and sometimes bumped into things. He had very red hair. Whitman had never seen such large freckles either. Eric said, "Whit, no wait, what?" and laughed. And then he said, "Whit, what, whatever." He laughed again, and Whitman knew it wasn't a nice laugh. He looked down. "Hey, whatever, where did you get those clothes?" He plucked at Whitman's shirt, and that was kind of scary. "I bet you got them from Walmart." And he said, "Sure, whatever, whatever wears whatever from Walmart," and then he laughed again. Whitman didn't know what to do, but luckily the bell rang and recess was over. After that, he tried to avoid Eric. Didn't look at him, didn't raise his hand if Eric had already raised his. He spent the beginning of lunch in the boys' bathroom so Eric wouldn't be in line or looking for a seat. Once in a while, Eric would shout "whatever" from across the schoolyard at recess. Whitman tried to concentrate on his lessons. He practiced his spelling and some arithmetic in his head as he walked home. One day he saw a piece of paper on a telephone pole. It had a picture of something. When he got close, he saw it was a picture of a cat. "Lost cat," said the paper. It said the cat was orange and was called Marmalade. It gave an address. The paper made Whitman sad. He wouldn't want to lose a cat or a dog if he had one, and he thought some kid must be pretty unhappy. The next day on his way home, Whitman heard something. It was a very small sound, and he had trouble figuring out which direction it came from. Then he saw a cardboard box next to the street on the curb, and the sound was coming from in there. He went over and he looked inside the box. Shivering from the cold was a small cat. "Meow," it said hopefully. "Meow yourself," said Whitman. "You must be freezing in there. Come on, let's get you picked up." The cat was shivering, but not so much that he couldn't dig his claws into Whitman's jacket. Okay, it's going to be okay. Let's get you home." This cat was orange, and it was obviously lost, so it must be the cat he had read about. He didn't remember the address, so he had to go back and find the telephone pole with the paper. "Okay, see, I'll just take you home, and you'll be fine." "Meow," said the cat, and dug his claws in a bit more. "Ouch," said Whitman. "Take it easy." The address wasn't far, but of course Whitman didn't know if anyone would be home. He rang the bell and waited. He rang again and waited, and he thought he could see somebody coming. When the door opened, he had a real scare. It was Eric, the nasty bully from school that had made fun of him. Eric said, "Whatever, get off my porch." And then he saw the cat. "That's Marmalade," he shouted. Whitman held out the cat at arm's length. Here, he's yours." Eric grabbed the cat and tucked him under his chin, and for a moment closed his eyes and rocked with the cat in his arms. Then, as Whitman turned, ready to run in case Eric came after him, Eric said, "Wait a moment, let me tell my mom." He went inside, but left the door open. "Mom," he yelled, "Marmalade's back. Somebody from school brought him. Can we have some cookies?" He hardly waited for the answer. "Come on in," he said to Whitman. "It's cold out there." Still carrying the cat, he led Whitman to the kitchen. The cookies were still cooling from the oven, and they smelled really good. "Want some milk?" he asked. Whitman nodded. "Sit," said Eric. He got a paper towel for each of them and brought the cookies over. They poured a glass of milk for each of them and a bowl for Marmalade. When they had eaten at least 2 cookies each, Eric said, "Thanks for bringing Marmalade back. She's never been outside. I guess she got lost." Then he said, "I was sick all last year. My grandma got Marmalade when she was a kitten. Marmalade used to lie on my chest and purr, and it helped me a lot." That helped Whitman understand something about Eric, why he was so big and pudgy and awkward, and he said, "Wow, that must have been some year. Are you okay now?" "Yeah, I'm pretty okay now," said Eric. And then Eric looked down and said, "I'm sorry I made fun of your name." Whitman could see that Eric really was sorry, and so he said, "Whatever." And Eric looked at him and as though he had gotten 2 gifts in one, his cat back and a new friend. And they laughed at Whitman's joke, and Whitman said, "It's so weird that we both have unusual first names, Whitman and Eric, but our last names are so common, Jones and Smith." "You're right," said Eric. And they ate some more cookies and had some more milk, and Marmalade had some more milk too, but no cookies. And now, Brooklyn, if you can come up, we can take our cellos to our classroom. Thank you.
Have fun. See you at the luau. Yeah, it's different because the normal children's chalice is somewhere because we're painting. It's somewhere safe. We're just not sure where it got put. But, yeah, we'll have it back. No worries. But I just want to thank each of you for your many kind and generous gifts that add to our community's well-being. Every one of the gifts that we bring are essential to our strength, our growth, and our sustainability. Our congregation has agreed to donate 50% of the donation plate offerings that are not earmarked as pledges with a charity that aligns with our values. For the month of August, we share our plate with the Immigration Defenders Law Center. Formed in 2015, they are now Southern California's largest nonprofit deportation defense organization, offering free legal services to immigrants facing deportation. Sometimes it's unaccompanied minors and deported veterans. And it is with deep gratitude that our generous offerings will now be given and received. Lily? Joys and sorrows. Boy, what a road we have had with both. A little heavy on the sorrow side lately, it seems. But we share them here. We share them in our private conversations, and then there are many things that we want to share with everybody. And we have little notes on the back table where you can write down things that you want to share with everybody. But no one put any in the basket this week. So I will share a few that I've received. One is that over the incredible gift that technology is, I've been talking with Vasudev's son through text while he's in Japan. And we've scheduled a date for our memorial service for Vasudev. It will be on a Sunday, August 23rd, and we'll have it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So please make note of that and plan to be here. I also now have a joy from Lynn Schabel. She writes, I feel so fortunate to report that my aortic valve replacement performed on Wednesday of this week went as smoothly as possible. Yes. She says, I was released from the hospital on Thursday. I'm sure this will make a very positive difference in my overall well-being. I am surrounded by my children who are running back and forth for me, and my two best friends from my childhood who are flying in from Arizona and Florida to stay with me for a week. And she says, thank you to all of my MVUUC loving friends who have been in touch. I'm sure your positive thoughts were a vital part of me coming through this feeling so confident. And we know a lot of that's Jimmy's prayers with her, right? Yeah. Thanks, Jimmy. I made a note, too, that we hold Russia in our hearts. So much of the news and the communications that we have about the Russian people and their leadership is negative, but they suffered an 8.8 quake this week. And we offer our relief and also our gratitude for the calming of the sea that occurred following that quake. And we know we were spared the inundation that was possible around the world. A friend and I were remembering the parable of the apostles who woke Jesus up when they were out in the boat, and they asked him to calm the seas in the book of Mark, chapter 4. We sure got Jesus awake, too, when we knew the tsunamis were coming. So keep that gratitude. It's really an incredible event. Also, we've had another attempted break-in on our building. Some of you know about it because you came and helped and responded to the alarms. But let's be keeping our building, just our campus, in our thoughts and prayers, and maybe like some kind of a force field or something to make this stop. But we know the world, everybody, so many people are hungry and hurting and doing what they can. So I know I called Jeannie Coach. She made a special candle, and she set a spell with her beautiful witch practice to protect the building. But let's all be watching. And it's great that we have the alarm system we do, because in all 3 attempts, they were all scared away by the sound of the alarm. So, yeah, it's scary, but it's sad. It's such a mix of emotion. I just want to mention it. Everybody should know that that's happening. So I invite you now to join me in a time of prayer and meditation. If you want to, like I like to say, shift your seat and plant your feet. And And this prayer is called Sitting in the Unknowing, and it's inspired by the words of Reverend Katie Kendarian Morris. For the joys that have been shared here today, we join in celebration. For the difficulties and concerns spoken here, we offer our compassion to bring comfort. And for all that we carry that remains unspoken, may the love of this community bring each of us hope. And may the God of many names, we come to a quiet time, we touch into our interior place, a place for the deepening of spirit and enrichment of soul. Let us have the courage to sit with our unknowing, to await answers as we sit with our questions, to be willing to be authentic with ourselves and with each other, and to be okay with the ways that we don't feel good about right now. But let us be willing to welcome one another as genuine souls, to appreciate the beauty that comes from wholeness and truth as we sit together in a time of shared silence in that quiet, sacred depth. And I invite you to remain seated as we sing We Are Dancing, Sarah's Circle, all 5 verses. Thank you. And we have a treat. Our reading today will be read for us by Bob Taylor.
Held in a Sacred Web of Love by Meg Riley. Each of us, imperfect and vulnerable body spirits that we are, is connected to a vast web of love which holds us and will not let us go. We are connected through our ancient common ancestors to creative lineages that shaped us. We are connected to the unborn, who still shine as stars in the sky. We span this interdependent web from our very lives. As spiders spin pure silk from their spinnerets, it will not let us go, no matter what we do or don't do. You may always know that you are held in this sacred web of love. And I just want to give my thanks to Charlotte.
Amen. Thanks, Lily. There is usually an overabundance of discretion exerted as I pick out my clothing on a Sunday morning. But this week, it all went kaflooey. And it feels so freeing to be here as a t-shirted minister, spreading an aloha message far and wide. The concept of aloha is deeply rooted in Hawaiian culture, not only as a greeting, but as a way of life. Aloha is a familiar Hawaiian word with multiple meanings. It's used to express a warm and welcoming hello, and it's also a blessing as one says goodbye. The spirit of aloha is defined by love, compassion, and unity. It calls for the respect of oneself, for all others, and for the natural world. And with all of its depth, it's not an overly complicated word, but one that is more ritual than rote, one that brings a unifying spirit of harmony, kindness, belonging, connection, and empathy. A good wish for any friend or foe. Aloha. Aloha, Mr. President. Boy, that had meaning. Ho'oponopono is another Hawaiian word that defines ritual, an ancient Hawaiian practice that some of us may be familiar with. Shall we practice saying it? And in the Hawaiian language, every vowel is pronounced in the words. So, ho'oponopono. The pono part is easy, but it's the ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono. I have a friend who was raised in Honolulu, who tells the story that when her mom first saw the words pipeline spelled out, she pronounced it pipilini. And when I began preparing for today, I had a degree of certainty, well, probably an abundance of certainty, that I was well familiar with Ho'oponopono. I was certain that I understood it well enough to speak about it. Well, truth be told, I had only scratched the surface. And that's so much for certainty. In fact, there's a line in the movie Conclave, spoken by actor Ralph Fiennes, and his role as the dean of the conclave of cardinals, who says, "Certainty is the great enemy of unity and the deadly enemy of tolerance." I like that. Well, my certainty dissolved more the deeper I dug, learning and respecting that this practice, this ritual, is an ancient sacred gift from the ancestors of the Hawaiian culture, held and taught to their people. We know that we are so fortunate to have even the slightest, humblest peek into it today across a cultural divide. And it's also essential that we learn it without even the teeniest intention to claim it as ours, as American, as a gift of our 50th state. No. Instead, we hold it today. We hold it like the precious gem that it is, like the heart of Tafiti from the Disney movie Moana. I see some heads nodding. Yeah. But all that I have learned about Ho'oponopono gives me so much more regard for the ritual, the prayer, and the healing that it is. More than the scripted rite to be memorized and recited, it's a deeply meaningful process entered by those who have either caused or been harmed by a break in relationship. The phrases that are spoken are used in a form of intervention or mediation with the explicit purpose of restoring harmony among individuals, families, and communities. It is a way to heal and restore a break in precious interdependence that is known to be an essential aspect of healthy life within Hawaiian community. Practice of Ho'oponopono has roots in the mystery schools of Hawaiian Islands and beyond. These schools were established to guide students on paths for spiritual development and self-discovery. They focus on mystical teachings, rituals, and practices designed to reveal deeper truths about the universe and humanity's place within it. Students are grounded in an understanding of their part in the interdependence of all life, a personal transformation that comes through self-awareness. A mystery school's purpose is to guide individuals toward a deeper understanding of themselves and their connection to and responsibility for the web of life. Many of the core teachings of these mystery schools were preserved within the shamanic practices of Hawaiian culture. That is, until the arrival of the Christian missionaries in the early 19th century, who forced the indigenous teachings underground. Spiritual practices such as Ho'oponopono were left to those who were taught the huna, or hidden knowledge in secret. You may be familiar with the word kahuna, but let's be careful not to disregard this cultural honorific, which is actually a very respectful title for a teacher who practices the secret knowledge hidden under the layers and layers of Christianity, even to the point where culturally insensitive images of the big kahuna were allowed and are still present. But the kahuna was who you might call to help restore interdependence through a ritual of Ho'oponopono. The word itself is derived from Hawaiian terms. Ho'o means to make, and pono means righteousness and morality, doing what is needed to make things right again. This practice is deepened and strengthened by saying pono twice. The pono is, its name emphasizes, doubles the focus on staying within an ethical relationship to all of life. The rituals associated with the practice of Ho'oponopono include a dedication to a good outcome that is similar to our covenantal agreements. It's a practice of restoration that encompasses a sense of balance and harmony, insisting that all people act in a way that benefits themselves and others, and includes the environment. Sessions of Ho'oponopono can have instantaneous outcomes, but some situations take longer. But everyone involved in the harm that was caused takes turns speaking until there is no further truth to be told. A mediator of a Ho'oponopono session, which is usually a kahuna, but doesn't need to be, facilitates much more than reciting the 4 statements that are commonly associated with this practice. Traditional Ho'oponopono sessions often include time that is dedicated to prayer, discussion, confession, remorse, and forgiveness. A mutual restitution that's often expressed by each person involved in the ritual that says these 5 statements, actually. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I forgive you. Thank you. I love you. In their article, Ho'oponopono, Making Right, Dr. Isa Gucciardi teaches that the secret of the success of Ho'oponopono is a vehicle for restoring peace to the community. And it lies in its insistence on personal responsibility and inner reflection. I was drawn by the article's explanation that in a session of Ho'oponopono, everyone is expected to engage in honest self-scrutiny. No one is considered to have more power than another, and everyone is expected to tell the truth as they know it. And in that way, it's very similar to our own practice of sociocracy. And because an increasing awareness of interdependence and respect for all is so vital to the outcome of Ho'oponopono, each person who is involved, no matter their age, is invited to speak. And they are assured that they will be heard. So no more sending the adolescents off to their room. But everyone is there to look at themselves and others, to gain new vision for how they are dependent on the well-being of others, and to be changed. The promises and changed relationships that emerge from these sessions tend to have an enduring effect. And when all of the steps are engaged and explored, and all of the energy of those involved is directed toward the success of the process, family members often come away realizing that their needs and concerns are very similar to those of their opponents. And by centering on a new way forward, with perspectives that have shifted willingly, relationships are made right, interdependence is balanced and restored between individuals and among families and within communities. And while the title of the practice of Ho'oponopono may have been new to you, you may be aware of other rituals in your lives that are similar in nature. But now we can give credit where it's due and offer our gratitude for the kahunas who worked to preserve this ancient practice and for its blessing on all of our lives. In his book titled The 4 Things That Matter Most, a book about living, palliative care physician Dr. Ira Byock references the practice of Ho'oponopono as a way through end-of-life conversations that many of us find difficult and most don't ever enter into. But Dr. Byock's book has opened the way for many people to find an easier way to begin conversations at the end of life using the most meaningful words that many of us long to hear throughout our lives, but especially at its end. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I forgive you. Thank you. I love you. Let's keep looking for ways in this beautiful practice, in ways that it can be used to serve our work, to bring our Unitarian Universalist value of interdependence into our lives. And we will just naturally offer it as a gift to the lives of others. Just as the statements end with, I love you, let's share a poem by John Rodell, one of my favorites. And it will leave us centered on the love as we close. And we might just be the only church where you'll ever hear this shared as a sermon closer, because it starts out with, "The New Testament isn't that new anymore. I think it's time for a third installment. I'm sure God can make it quick and easy for us to read, just in case we're too busy making TikToks. It can be a snappy little gospel that simply says, you are so small, yet you're so loved. That love isn't meant to be locked away. Love is hot bread, ready to be shared. So go be love for everyone. Trade your ammo for adoration. You were created for spreading love. So go be love. Go be love. Go be love." Amen. Let's sing you can stand. This is going to be a jumpy one. It's going to get us ready for our lunch. Sia Hamba. I know we enjoy singing this song, and we haven't done it in a while. So for those who know the Zulu, it's there at the top, and I invite you to sing that. I may sing one verse in Zulu and one in English, but let's stand, and if you feel like marching in the light of God, I invite you. We have wide aisles. You're welcome. But here we go. Let's sing. Your fault. Love you, Jaryus. Our unison benediction is printed in your order of service, but also maybe on the screen as well. There it is. So as I extinguish our chalice, let's read this together. Let's extinguish our chalice and continue our time together with a delicious meal. Let's take this light with us and let it shine through us to bring courage for the uncharted road ahead and to serve as a light to the world that we care so much about. But first, let's enjoy Lily's postlude. Closing words to you are, as we each offer our own personal gratitude for the meal that we will soon share, we honor every person who had a hand in the creation of it, and we offer our help for the cleanup. We celebrate that we have the strength of our faith community, and we have the power of our ancestors, and we have a love that holds us now and through all that is yet to be. Amen. Let's eat.